Welcome back. We are on part 1 of week 2 in Tuscany in the video game. So let's go ahead and get into it.
We had another competition preparation week in store. The French Pinewood Academy was due to come. I felt ready. Our last victory had given me confidence in my abilities. Samuel will tease me about all the Italian newspaper articles describing me as a future international champion, but I played it cool. At least I think I was finally learning how to. What was most important were the team's results, not only for the sport, but also for the sincere, warm friendships I had struck up in barely a month there. We had had some great moments together, and even Aurélie's violin had stopped bugging me. I had the most marvelous feelings. These were the most beautiful moments of my life.
Like I've said for the past week, as you're planning your weeks out, it's going to be really important on the first day that you go to the student center and look at all the relevant information. So what you want to be photographing on your walks, what the weather for the week is going to be, and what your courses look like for the competition. Whether or not that part actually helps, is up to you to decide. But the other thing is making sure you go to the library so you can read up on what you need for the week. Make sure you notate everything. And then I also try and always do the horse care right away on that first Monday, because the horse is going to be really low morale and low strength after the competition.
I'd like to know more. Why did you spend all your time reading rather than having fun with other children?
My father was a military man. I had no idea at the time. He wasn't at home very often. My mother had her hands full with my 2 younger brothers, and nobody took care of me. I often asked why Dada had to go away and why he couldn't stay at home one more day. They just said that's how things were. We weren't allowed to ask where he went and what he did. Sometimes he'd be away for months at a time. No one said a word about what he got up to. It was all so mysterious, and it seemed so unfair to hide things from me just because I was too young to understand. I decided the world was mine to learn, and I'd be the one with all the answers. So I started reading science books that were sometimes far too complicated for me, and I'd spend all my holidays holed up in my room, only coming out to eat. Then, one day something happened to change my view of the world.
What happened?
I'll tell you more about it next time. All this talking is making me thirsty.
Okay. Don't forget where we got to here. So, are you ready to tell me now what happened on your birthday?
I came home that day, and my father offered me a violin. He could tell I was bored, and it was his way of saying he cared. It was a really sweet gift, I must say, and I started studying the instrument in earnest, but I soon got bored.
Didn't you like the violin?
Of course, but what good is music if no one's listening? I kept on playing as something to do, and sometimes I'd try and get my parents to listen. But tired after her travelling, my mother would fall asleep, and my father said I gave him migraines. I soon understood I'd be the only one to appreciate my playing. Most of my friends didn't like the violin. They preferred more exciting sounds like electric guitars and synthesizers. But the following month, things started to change.
And I guess I'll have to wait before I find out how things started changing.
You catch on quick. It's a very personal story to me, and it takes time and trust to tell. Be patient, and you will be rewarded.
I'm not big on patience, but I'll make an effort for you.
One thing I did forget to mention is that if it's nice enough outside to bathe your horse and to have your horse go into turnout, you do want to do that before cleaning the stall, because otherwise when the horse comes in from being outside, the stall will be dirty again. It doesn't affect your score, but it's an aesthetic thing.
That day, no one could have foreseen the strange challenge in store for us. I was feeling far from top. The beginning of the week had been hard, and I was missing my parents horribly. But that day would remain ingrained in my memory.
I am pleased to announce that today is someone's special day. We have a huge privilege to offer one of you, a privilege you will also be able to share. But we can only select one person. So, with the agreement of Pippa and our coaching staff, we have decided to set you a challenge, a kind of game.
I thought that playing was out. I thought we were meant to train.
You deserve a reward for your latest victory.
But if we don't like games, do we have to play?
Trust us on this one. It'd be worth your while.
I'll take Carol's team. Anybody but Miguel. He always loses.
I'm sorry. I've never been a great player.
Cheer up, Miguel. You have tons going for you. That poetry book you lent me is brilliant. You've got real taste.
Really? You like the poems?
I haven't actually started reading them yet, but the cover's great.
Your turn now. Here's the riddle. I'm at the start of everything, but at the end of nowhere. I'm in the middle of the ocean and the ocean breeze. What am I? Choose a box, the one you think is the answer to the riddle. Inside, you'll find a clue that will help you solve the challenge.
It's not fair. Everyone else started ahead of me.
Don't worry. The countdown starts from the point you open the box.
Just a quick note here, this is something I missed. You can look at all 3 boxes before choosing which one you want to go with for the riddle answer. I always just thought you had to pick the right one from the start, but you can't individually view what is in each box and then choose what you want to be your clue.
There's only the letter E on this box. There's a map as well.
That's right. The answer was the letter E. Everywhere, ocean, breeze. 3 of you came back with the right answer, but you were the first to bring back the object.
I won! Boy, I love winning.
You don't say.
So, what's the big reward then? Tokens?
Sorry, you'll have to wait till tomorrow morning.
What? Oh, but you said that...
Tomorrow morning and not before.
Tomorrow isn't too long to wait, is it?
Guess so.
Miguel, I think I've got the answer to the riddle.
The game's over, Carol. I found it hours ago.
Why didn't you say?
I wanted to let her win.
You're going to have to talk to her one day.
I knew that Mr. Oldmaster and the church were photo ops, but I wasn't sure because it had emphasis on the carts around this farmland and town and all the things, and I know there's multiple, so I was just riding around for a while looking to see if any of them were key photographs, but as you can see, they are not items for photography, but they can give you an inkling as to where some other items are. So as you'll see upcoming, I do find an item, a collectible, on one of the carts. So sometimes it gives you clues for other things outside of photo ops.
Wow, that's magnificent!
So basically, a lot of this gameplay ends up being working and training with foals and understanding like physical cues and what they need or mean, which is why they have the disclaimer at the beginning of the game that this is not a veterinary consulted game. So basically, you can play around with stallions and mares to kind of come up with what type of breed and coloring you want for the foal. And I did end up picking a female name because for some reason I felt like it was a mare, but I was wrong. I think all the horses are geldings technically in the gameplay version as far as what pronouns they refer to, indicating gender. So the foal I picked is apparently going to be a gelding named Imogen. So that's just how that worked out.
You won the challenge, so the prize is yours. This foal is now yours. Care for him well. He is still very delicate.
Gosh, thanks.
I'm so happy for you. Say, can I choose a name for him?
No!
I did think that you could refer back to notes that you had taken when you notate as you read through the things that refer to taking care to the foals. However, I was wrong, so you will need to actually read these. That's why I went back and reread these certain ones, because I found through playing later on in the game that there is no reference back to note taking. I think that's actually in game 1 that you're able to do that. So you will need to actually memorize like the actions or the symptoms of what the foal is presenting with, and then what the solution is to basically take care of the foal based on what it's asking for.
Your foal is very sweet, but he needs a lot of looking after. Right now, he is resting in the meadow with his mother. Watch him closely, he might need something. Sometimes he might want to play, but sometimes he might get sick, so pay attention to his every need. Remember the responses you learned in the library. Don't forget that they will help you strengthen your relationship with the foal.
I'm not gonna lie, when I first started this game, I was pretty excited about a game having lunging in it, but just realized that lunging a foal is not realistic, and also, this is actually the bane of my existence, how this lunging works. You have to follow the icon at the top, which there it can be either a really small circle, medium circle, or big circle, and you have to make sure you're on whatever is lit up green, and then you have to make sure you're going the right direction, indicated by the arrow, and the right speed, indicated by the box next to the circle and arrow, and then you have to keep your mouse cursor in the radius, that purple radius, the whole time, and you have to click the green buttons, or go over the green buttons, and if you hit the red ones, then the horse's health goes down, which doesn't make sense to me. And not to mention, I don't know if you've tried to do 6 laps with your mouse on your mouse cursor by staying in a very small area,
down.
but it's hard to do. And my mouse sometimes gets stuck, and then the cursor comes off of the radius, and then you have to start that lap over. And it's really aggravating, especially when it's the larger circle like this, and the foal is walking, because it takes forever, and you're more likely to have your mouse get stuck. So I would recommend having a physical mouse for this activity, because trying to use a keyboard mouse while also controlling up, down, left, right is really hard to do. And yeah, I end up having to do this 4 times a week if you want to get your foal's health and like learning bar all the way up to 100. I gave up on this week and ended up only doing 3 because I literally hate it so much. And when you get going with the faster speeds, it's nice because the laps go quicker, but the risk of your cursor coming off of the purple radius like that is much higher, because see, you can tell here my mouse kept getting stuck and it was really aggravating, and you have to start those laps all over again.
Slower! Let's go!
Alright, that's where we'll leave off the first half of week 2, and we will be back for the remainder. Well, I'll be doing it right now, but we'll have the video uploaded within a couple days.